and your obedience begins to flow through hatred for iniquity. It begins to flow through seeking and doing God's will, and it begins to flow through the channel of seeking God above all things. You will break into prosperity. See, nature can't hold itself anymore. That's why when Moses came, he said, talk to the rock. There's no river here, talk. The presence is here. And even when Moses struck the rock, water came out. Water. And Isaiah was talking about it. He said they thirsted not while he led them through the desert. They thirsted not. He said he cleaved the rock for them. The waters came out. He cleaved the rock. The waters gushed out like a river. How can water come in the river? Because when men who love the Lord show up, anything can become anything. In Isaiah 51 from verse 1, he said, hearken unto me, all ye that love righteousness. He said, look up to Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that body. I called him alone and blessed him. He said, the Lord shall comfort Zion. He shall comfort Zion. There is a comfort that comes in pain. There's a comfort that comes in drought and dryness. That kind of comfort is for those who love God. That's why in 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9, he says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it occurred to the heart of man the things that he has in stock to them that love him. There is a wealth that God has for us, but it will take love for God, passionate love for God, for those things to be realized. And when the devil knows, or because the devil knows, he distracts us from loving God. He leads us in the pursuit of things, and the more we pursue, the more dry we become. Did you not study your book in Genesis? When God created Adam, he put him in Eden. That's the dwelling of God's presence. Everything is in Eden. Maybe I should read you two scriptures as we proceed. Job 22 verse 21 to 25. See those who love God in hating iniquity, in doing his will, and in seeking his presence. See what the Bible says. We'll read to verse 24. It said, acquaint now thyself with him. It said, be at peace, thereby good shall come unto thee. That is what? Seeking God. Acquaint yourself with him. He said what? Good will come to you. So when you seek God, he said good will come to you. In fact, Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness. All other things shall be added. That means what the Gentiles seek, for we who love God, is an addition. But when we begin to seek what the Gentiles seek, it means the love of God has died. It has depleted in our soul. In verse 22, hear what he said. He went further. So be marking it out. If you acquaint yourself with God, what happens? Good comes to you. He said, receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth. And he said, lay up his words in thy heart. That is what? Doing his will. Go to verse 23. He said, if thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Thou shalt put away iniquity from thy tabernacles. What did I tell you? Hatred for sin. So in those two verses, you do his will, you hate iniquity. Now go to verse 24. He said, then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brook. There is a dimension of wealth that can't be numbered. There's a dimension of wealth that cannot be counted. There's a dimension of wealth that you become so big that you lend to nations. That kind of wealth is not in the stock market you find it. That kind of wealth is a spirit that gives it. And if it comes from God, because there are dark spirits that give wealth, there are demonic spirits that give money. But if it comes from God, he said there are three things. Acquaint yourself with him. Lay up his words in your heart. Depart from iniquity. He said you will lay up gold as dust, even the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brook. Today when we preach, we take up the first three parts and then we just quote, I shall lay up gold as dust. No sir, you shall not lay up gold as dust. You shall only lay up gold as dust when you acquaint yourself with him. You will lay up gold as dust when you do his will. You will lay up gold as dust when you depart from iniquity. The reason we preach and it looks like deception is because we don't show men their reality. Any teaching or any doctrine that takes responsibility away from you have set you up for futuristic destruction. You will be excited at it. After 5 years, your life will be on the same spot. You will now discover that you don't prosecute destiny on the frequency of emotion. Only obedience is potent enough to grant you the promises that God stated in scripture.